know what it is already. Your boy, all day, D47, AM pop off for real all day, popping off as much probability information as possible. Right now, continuing with the first games ever by every team series. Right now, Cumberland. Who on earth is Cumberland? Rugby league fans might be asking. Cumberland were the team who participated in the very first year, 1908 only. And so don't miss any crucial Cumberland information watching this video all the way through to the end as per always. So, like I said, there's 17 current teams in the competition and 16 other teams who previously existed but are now defunct. So Cumberland one of them. And definitely the most unprofessional out of all the teams. And this is going to take lots of explaining, go into lots of detail explaining just how diabolical they were. So that's why you need to watch all the way through the end so you don't miss any essential rugby league information. Like I said, they did participate in this 1 year, so they do have to get a video, as horrendous as they were. So, to begin the 1908 season, the very first season of Australian Rugby League, in round 1, Cumberland didn't actually play. You think the first game would be 1908 round 1, but no. In 1908 round 1, South played Norths and won 11-7, Balmain played West and won 24-0. East then defeated Newtown 32-16, and Glebe defeated Newcastle Rebels 8-5. So Glebe, the Glebe Dirty Reds, even though they've been extinct for many decades, they're still a pretty famous name, rugby league fans have heard of them. Newcastle Rebels though, that's not the Newcastle Knights, that was a different team at the time, a different Newcastle. They participated the first 2 years, 1908 and 1909 only. So they'll obviously get their video coming up soon enough for the first game ever. So, after those 8 teams had played the first 4 rugby league games ever, Cumberland, so disorganised, so unprofessional, they haven't even filled a team yet. They have not managed to get a team together ready to participate. You know what I mean? So what then had to happen was that the teams played again in round 2, and then as an extension of round 2, Cumberland finally had a team together, and they ended up playing their first game in round 2 of the 1908 season. And round 2 just ended up having one more game than what it normally would have. So, and even with a huge crowd, so Cumberland's first ever game drew a crowd of a whopping 20,000 people. Now that's monstrous. These days it's normal, but at the time, most rugby league games only got about 1,500, maybe 2,000 people. Sometimes 3,000 people on average. Most crowds are pretty small back then because it was only in its early days, in its formative years. So Cumberland getting a crowd of 20,000 people for their first game, they should have performed much, much better. But they didn't. So, Cumberland's first ever game, they had to play South Sydney at the RAS. So the RAS was the Royal Agricultural Showground. That was the ground that was used at the time. Used mainly by South and East at the time, the 2 arch rivals. So, Cumberland playing South at the RAS, the date the 9th of May 1908, the referee George Seabrook. So, eventually, South Sydney were far too good and beat Cumberland 23 points to 2. But at least, the Cumberland player, his name was H. Bloomfield, he got the goal. So, H. Bloomfield, he will always have the honour of getting Cumberland's first for goal, first for 2 points. While for South, they're 23 points. That was 5 tries and 4 goals. Remembering tries used to be 3 points at the time, like we always have to remember. So, the South, Tommy Anderson getting 2 tries. Arthur Butler getting 1 try and 2 goals. Dick Green also getting exactly 1 try and 2 goals. And Frank Historian getting the other try. That was South Sydney's 23 points. Those 4 Rabbitohs I just mentioned, they were obviously played a key role in South winning the comp in the first year. So when we get to South's debut game and debut season, we'll obviously be talking about those players more often as South eventually beat East 14-12 in the 908 grand final. But for poor old Cumberland, after H. Bloomfield got this penalty goal in round 2, it took until round 5, believe it or not. It took until round 5 to get their first try. They couldn't get a single try until round 5. So in the round 5 game 1908, this time Cumberland had lost to Glebe 22 points to 7 at Wentworth Park. And the Cumberland player, his name was Edward Bellamy, and he got all 7 points for them. So Edward Bellamy getting 1 try, a tick in each column. 1 try, 1 normal goal, and 1 field goal. Under the scoring system at the time, tries were 3 points. So 1 try is 3 points. Goals were 2 points, which makes 5. And all field goals used to be 2 points at the time, not just 40-metre field goals like today. all field goals were 2 points at the time. So Edward Bellamy at least doing something for poor old Cumberland. Yeah, getting a try goal and a field goal, 7 points. So then, with H. Bloomfield and Edward Bellamy, unfortunately, they were two of only 3 Cumberland players who ever even scored a point. In this entire first season, in 1908, Cumberland only ever had 3 players that scored any points at all. 3 different point scorers. H. Bloomfield, he ended up getting 1 try and 8 goals for the season altogether, 19 points, whereas Edward Bellamy got 2 tries, 4 goals in that 2-point field goal we just mentioned, 16 points. And there was another player called James Cribb who got 1 solitary try only, no goals and no field goals. Altogether, Cumberland only ever could score 38 points. Wow. So, like I said, we do always go through the first game that the new team won, but I wanted to go for all of them on this occasion just because they are the only games that Cumberland never played, but the first game Cumberland never won. Well, we'll go over it again soon, but 1908 round 8, Cumberland managed to beat Western Suburbs 14-6 at Wentworth Park, but yeah, obviously that was the beginning of the end. But all the Cumberland scores in order right now. So, Cumberland, in 1908 round 1, they didn't have a team ready and didn't play. In round 2, they'd lost to CS 23 points to 2 at the Royal Agricultural Showground. In round 3, they'd lost to Newcastle Rebels, not the Newcastle Knights, the Newcastle Rebels 37-0 at Wentworth Park. These are grounds that we used at the time. Wentworth Park, Royal Agricultural Showground, Birchgrove Oval, they were the grounds that we were using at that point in time. In round 4, Cumberland had lost to Newtown at Birchgrove Oval 16-6, such as 3 penalty goals. In round 5, they finally got their first try, but still lost to Glebe 22-7 at Wentworth Park. In round 6, Cumberland had lost to Balmain 16-4, just 2 penalty goals at Birchgrove Oval. In round 7, Cumberland had lost to Eastern Suburbs 26-5 at the Royal Agricultural Showground. Then in round 8, finally, going into the game, Cumberland West were in last and second last on the ladder. Both teams were winless going into it. So finally, Cumberland got their first, last, only win that they would ever achieve and beat West 14-6 at Birchgrove Oval. And H. Bloomfield, he put in a 5-star performance and he got 11 of Cumberland's 14 points. So he literally won the game all by himself, getting 1 try and 4 goals, whereas James Cribb, he got Cumberland's other try in that one. While for West, it was just 3 penalty goals, 2 by Josh Hodson and 1 by Jim Abercrombie. Yeah, but unfortunately, not only was it the last game Cumberland would ever win, it was also the last points Cumberland would ever score. Because the next round, 1908 round 9, this summed up their whole existence. The last game that they would ever play, they were annihilated, humiliated by North Sydney 45-0 at Wentworth Park. And remember, that's with 3-point tries, so that would have easily been over 50-something-0 with 4-point tries. And then in 1908 round 10, the last regular season round, Cumberland had their official bye. They didn't just they weren't just not ready like in round 1, they actually had a proper bye in round 10, so they didn't play. Which meant that after the round 9 debacle against North, were never to be seen ever again. Even more humiliating than the 45-0 scoreline against North in round 9 was the fact that Cumberland, being so unprofessional and so disorganised as they were, they actually had to borrow players from other teams just to field the team. Yet again, they had to manage to field the team. They ended up having to beg and plead and borrow the other teams for a few players just so they could play this game against North in round 9. That's how this crazy lot got for them. So obviously that's why they were never seen ever again. But then, at the end of the season, from the 9 teams in the first year, 908, Cumberland have obviously finished in last place with 1 win, 7 losses and 1 bye from their 9 games. Like I already said, they only ever scored 38 points in attack, and in defence, who conceded 191, the four against minus 153. So, that's Cumberland's sole nightmare existence season. Done and dusted. I did say every team was going to get a video. All the ancient teams and a lot of rugby league fans probably haven't heard of, but that's why I'm here. That's my job. Go over all the teams we do know and love, plus all the teams that a lot of people haven't heard of. We need to, you know what I mean? Give them their recognition because they did participate in the comp at one point in time. So, doing it alphabetically, obviously, after Cumberland, the next team is obviously going to be Dolphins, and that's going to be very exciting. Because their first game was obviously only 2 years ago, in 2023 round 1, where they produced a stunning 28-18 win over Roosters on debut at Suncorp Stadium. And the Hammer got about an 80 or 90 metre try on that one. The Hammer, one of my personal favourites, one of the 47's all-time favourite players. So we'll have lots of fun reliving the Hammers and the Dolphins highlights. And yeah, I'm actually a big fan of Dolphins. Like, they're not Manly's natural team, but I do like Dolphins a lot. I do have a soft spot for them. Like, I'm not someone who goes more than one team, but yeah, if me I got kicked out, I would go for Dolphins second. Like, it's sort of like a second team of mine. I do like them a lot. So thank you so much for watching this all the way to the end, so you didn't miss any crucial Cumberland Rugby League information. And thank you so much all day for that head-splitting brutal support before your day at your 47 Toodaloo.